Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to make this right angle weave chevron bangle. It turned out so cool. I'm using materials from the dollar bead box to make this, but really everybody's probably going to have beads in their stash to make this. And I'm going to go over with you guys the materials I'm using, tell you alternatives, because you're going to have a lot of options for this. And yeah, so for the materials to make this, you will need 8 feet of 8-pound monofilament. You can use fireline to make this. You can use 6-pound, 8-pound, 10-pound fireline, whatever you want. I do like monofilament for this though, because it makes it more stiff, I guess. And you want to use 8-pound instead of 10-pound monofilament, because 10-pound is too thick and it's going to make this too wavy, I guess I would say, and the 8-pound is just the right like flexibility, if that makes sense to you. So you have different options there on what you can use for string material, and again you will need 8 feet. Now for the beads, I'm using 4mm Czech fire polish beads from the dollar bead box because I love all the colors together, but when I first designed this I realized that I needed a 5th strand of beads, so I'm actually using 5 4mm Czech fire polish bead strands. Now in case you didn't know, there's 50 beads on each strand. I'm using 49 beads from each strand. You're going to need 245 4mm beads. You could do Czech fire polish beads, you'll need 5 strands. You can do other shapes. You can do round beads instead of this shape. You can do bicones. You can do rondelles. You can do 6 seed beads. Those are all pretty much like the same size as this bead here. You can also go smaller. You can do 3mm beads, but keep in mind, when you go smaller, your beads are smaller, that means that you're going to have, you know, less work here. That means that you're going to need more beads because your beads are smaller. And this bracelet just turned out perfect. It is the perfect size, and there is a slight stretch to it, I guess because of the monofilament, so I'm thinking this should fit everybody. And this is 3 rows wide. It's not 2. 1, 2, 3. And I'm doing the 2-needle weaving technique to make this because 2-needle right angle weave is my favorite. I always find, being a designer, when I use 1-needle right angle weave, okay, I have issues with the stitch pulling weird, and I always have to use a really good thread. Fireline's the best. If you do want to do this with 1 needle, because you can, you will need more thread. Okay, so you have several options on what you can do. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this. Let's get started. It's going to be a lot of fun. So to make this, I am using monofilament, and I only put needles, by the way, on 6-pound monofilament because needles won't fit on 8 or 10-pound. It's too thick, but this here is actually thick enough to serve as its own needle. It's something I always get questions on. I have for years. I only put needles on 6-pound monofilament. So we're going to start in a corner, and I'm going to show you how to do one section here, and then you will continue doing that over and over until you have your beads used up, and I will show you how to close this shut so that the chevron pattern is continuous all the way around. Now I didn't color the ends of my monofilament because I forgot to, but really I don't think that's necessary for this because of the different colors we're using and the patterns with the beads. It's really not necessary, I feel, to color the ends. So starting here on the corner, I'm going to pick up 1 beige bead, okay, 2 green. I think I'm going to start on the right corner and work in this direction. So I have 1 green, here is my 2nd green, okay, and then I'm going to pick up a beige. Alright, we're going to crisscross both ends through this beige bead. Bring the ends together and bring this down. So this is what I have. So laying it down like that, okay. So looking at this, I can see that on my right string, I have to pick up a red, okay, and then on the left, I'm going to pick up a beige, and then I'm going to pick up another beige and crisscross through that. Now to make up this chevron pattern, what I actually did is I drew circles on a piece of paper, okay, in the pattern of right angle weave. I just drew circles with a pencil, and then I colored in the circles with highlighters because that's all I had around me, and that's how I came up with my pattern. So when I first did this, I was referring back to the paper, but since I have this made up, I'm just referring back to this here. And then with you, once you have one section made up, you're just going to look back at what you've already done, and you're going to copy that. It's basically a map. Okay, so this is what I have now. You can see that I already have the point here on my first chevron. So on this string, I have to pick up 2 green beads. So if you want, if you like me and you love right angle weave, if it's your favorite, you can make up other patterns like this just by drawing a right angle weave pattern and then coloring it in. Alright, so now I have to pick up, I did 2 green on my left, on my right I'm doing a beige, and I'm crisscrossing through that beige. You can also make a ring like this. Use seed beads. I think I would have to use, oops, did I go through the, no I didn't, okay. I thought I went through the wrong bead. You can also use seed beads, but if you do seed beads, I'm thinking you're probably going to want to do 8 seed beads for this, but you will have to use 2 different colors instead of 5, because there's no telling how long 5 rows of colors is, and to make a ring, you know, it's hard to tell how many rows you will have to do, so you probably would want to do 2 colors in your chevron pattern if you do a ring, and do like an 8 seed bead. You can probably also get away with 10 seed beads. Okay, so this is what I have so far. Right there, that is my pattern. So on this side, I see that I have to pick up a beige. I'm now going to work that direction. I like to work zigzag this way, okay, so here up like this, working, but if you want, you could do one entire side going all the way to the end, and then turn around and come back down, and then turn around and go back up this way, but really, that is actually, in my opinion, is not a good way to do this, because chances are the bracelet won't fit you, and it'll be so much work taking it apart. So it's best to start like this, going zigzag, working up your length gradually instead of doing your length in one big shot and then doing the sides. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. So this is what I have right now. On this side, I'm going to pick up, looking back at this, I'm going to pick up 1 beige bead. Okay, that is finishing off my first chevron, and then a red. Okay, and then getting my other string, I'm going to pick up a red and crisscross, oops, through this bead. Bring that down. Laying it flat. This is what I have. So I have to take this string and go through that red bead. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up on this one a red bead, but that's the one I'm going to cross through. So this one here, looking here, I'm going to pick up my next color, which is going to be this incredible blue. Okay, kind of looks like an egg. One of those. And then my red, crisscross through here. So I have this. Now I have to reposition this string here that's pointing down. I have to go through this beige bead. Just like that. Okay. Now this string is going to go up, so I have to pick up a beige, and I can actually look over here and tell that that's what I have to do next, is pick up a beige on this right side. Okay. So I have 3 beads right now in this section. See that? And I have to pick up 1 red and crisscross through it to match that side. Picking up a red, crossing through that. Now I do have 7 beads in each chevron pattern. And that's how I ended up getting 49 of each color. Okay, so this is what I have right now. I'm going to take this side and I'm going to pick up a red bead. Okay, and then my next color is going to be blue. So I have to pick up 2 blues. And then crisscross through this one. Alright, this is what I have now. I have to take this string here and go through this bead. Like this. I'm going to take this string and pick up my next color, which is going to be the gold. Okay, and then a blue. Crisscross through that. So this is what I have. Take this string and go through the red. So now I can actually look over here and see that I have to put a red on this side, and then I'm going to crisscross through a blue bead. So I'm going to flip this, pick up my last red, and then my blue, and there we go. This is our 4th, actually our 3rd chevron blue in there. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and then on this side, the right side, I have to continue the chevron because I only have 5 there and there's 7 beads in each chevron. So I have to pick up blue. And then my next chevron color is going to be gold, so I will be picking up 2 of those and crisscrossing through the second one. Alright, now I have this. I'm going to take this string here and go through the middle bead. So really, this is just traditionally right angle weave done with 2 needle. And all I did different was just change the color pattern to make it look like a chevron. So here you can see I started my 4th chevron color. I'm going to be starting my 5th one. So on top of the gold, I'm going to pick up this green bead. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up a gold and crisscross through this bead and bring it down. Just like that. Take this string, show you again, the one here that's pointing down, and go through this blue. Okay. And then on this side I have to pick up a blue bead to finish off my blue chevron, so I have a total of 7. And then I'm going to crisscross through this gold bead. Alright, so this is pretty much the pattern. You're just going to be repeating this over and over. Alright, so looking over here at this one, I just did this bead right here. So on the right string I'm going to pick up a gold, and then a green, and another green, and we're going to crisscross through that. Then I'm going to pass my other string to this bead, and then I'm going to pick up the beige and crisscross through the green, and then I'm going to go through this bead, and then I'm going to pick up a gold, and I'm going to crisscross through a green. Now what I like to do after I completed a section just like this, all I did was just look back at what I'd previously done, and I could see what I have to do next, because I'm just repeating the same thing over and over. Just make sure that once you come up with your color pattern that you keep going. So for example, because you could break the pattern, so I have green, beige, red, blue, gold. Green, beige, red, blue, gold. And I had to make sure that I kept it up, because I think one time I accidentally put in a different color and had to take it out, but luckily I noticed it right away. So just keep going doing this, and I'm going to show you guys how to close this up so it is continuous all the way around. Alright, I'm back, and I continued my weave. As you can see, I'm ready to close this up, and by the way, I'm closing it at the gold and green chevron. So I'm going to hold my bangle like this. Okay, now looking here, we were working on the gold chevron. I have 5 beads here. We need 7 in each chevron pattern. So I'm going to take this string and pick up 1 gold bead. And then I'm going to go through this green bead right here. Try not to pass through the next bead. It's going to want to go through there because it's in line, so I'll just go like that. There we go. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm going to take both of my strings, pick up a green, and crisscross through this. Alright, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go like this and take my right string and go through the beige, and then I'm going to go to this side, fold this side, take my left string and go through the green. Okay, so now both of my strings are meeting again. And I have to pick up my next bead, which is going to be the green, because I'm working on that chevron. Crisscross through this bead. And I'll show you as I pull it down. Alright, this is what I have now. So you can see that the next bead will be the gold one. So I don't think I want to tie my knots in the outside edge. Chances are they will be seen. So I'm going to try and tie my knots in the middle of the bracelet. So I'm going to take one of my strings, doesn't matter which because they're both the same length, and I'm going to go through the beads here like this. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up my gold one, and then I'm going to go through this next gold, just like this. Okay, and I'm going to pull these tight. I think what I'm going to do, I was thinking about tying a knot here, but you know what, I don't think I want to do that because I think it might pull weird. So what I'm going to do is have my strings meet up in the next unit. So I'm going to pass through here so that both of my strings are Xing out of the green bead right now, okay? And then I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to go up through the beige, and then take this string and go up through the green. Okay, I'm going to see if one of these are longer, because if one's longer, yep, this one's like an inch longer. So I'm going to go with the one that's longer, and I'm going to use that one to go. I'm turning the bracelet. I'm going to go through the green bead here. Okay, and now I have these meeting each other. So I'm going to pull this tight. Right now is the time to try this on. I already know that this fits me, so I'm not going to do it because I'm trying to hurry up for this video. I'm going to tie a knot right here. I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot. So all of my work is very tight. I'm going to take my strings, and let's see. Okay, that's my left and right. I'm going to go over and under once, bring it down, and then over and under twice, and bring it down. Pull it tight. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my string and I'm going to weave up here, and I'll tie another knot here. I'm going to get both sides to meet. Okay, I'm going to try and tie both sides together instead of doing half-hitch knots, because I think that if I do half-hitch knots, it's going to cause this to warp. Something is just telling me that. Maybe it's my intuition. Okay, so that one's going up this side, this one's going up that side, and I'm just going to work down the center of the bracelet and not go to the edge, because that's where the knots are most noticeable. It's on the edge. It's really hectic right here at this time. The dogs are barking, the birds yelling, someone was knocking on the door, it's thundering outside, so I apologize for all the noise. Okay, let's see. Oh, I want to tie a knot in the other corner. Yeah, so I'll go through this one. There we go. Alright, so both of my strings are there, and then I went to the sides like that, and now I'm on this corner, and I'm going to tie another surgeon's knot. So I'm probably going to do this maybe 3 or 4 times, and then pass my string through maybe, I don't know, several beads, as many as I can, and then cut it off. Okay, those over and under 1 time, and then 2, 1, 2, bring this down. Yeah, I think this was an ingenious way to finish this off. I had a feeling that if I did half-hitch knots, that it would cause it to warp. And doing this knot isn't causing it to warp at all. It is completely flat. Look at that. Perfect. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll take one string up this side, one string here, up there. I think I will tie the knots like across from each other. So instead of going straight down one row, I'm going to go this way. I'll tie another knot here. And then I'll do maybe a 3rd or 4th one. And remember to always weave your string in. Never cut it at a knot, because it will always come undone at a knot. And if you want, you could glue your knots. But I really don't find it necessary. I never really have found it necessary for gluing knots with fireline or monofilament. I just tie as many as I can and reinforce a piece as much as possible. So I'm loving how flat and straight this is. There's no warping going on, and it turned out cool. Oh, and I'm going to try it on now to show you guys. It just rolls right on. That's what it looks like. It's so nice. So this is it. I apologize for all the noise in the background. There's a really bad thunderstorm outside right now. Thank goodness I've not lost power yet. So this is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure that you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and check me out on my social media sites. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Thanks for watching.